Hello teachers and friends. My name is Nguyễn Thanh. I'm from class 17 SPA01 and today I would like to give you a report of my scientific research. It is an investigation into the use of role-play activities in improving students' English communicative competence at Lê Quý Đôn Gifted High School. So let's start by looking at my table of contents. So first, I want to tell you my introduction. Then I will talk about the literature review and theoretical background. Next, I will talk about my research methodology and discuss the research findings. And lastly, is a conclusion. So first, let's start with my rationale. So we all know that in this day and age, English has definitely become the global lingua franca, and finding a method to teach English is really important. And we all know that the focus of English teaching should be on communicative proficiency rather than on mere mastery of structures. And among the methods that could ensure that students can achieve the communicative proficiency, role-play has been regarded as an innovative and effective teaching tool to improve students' communicative competence. And it has been used as an option for enhancing student communicative competence at Lê Quý Đôn Gifted High School in Da Nang City. And that's also the reason why I choose to conduct this research. So let's talk about the aim of my research. It is to look at the use of role-play activities in enhancing students' English communicative competence at Lê Quý Đôn Gifted High School. And I have the objectives in order to achieve that aims. The first one is to explore the situation of using role-play in English classes at Lê Quý Đôn Gifted High School. Next, I will examine the perceptions of English teachers and students on the use of role-play at the school. And then I will work out the benefits of role-play in improving students' communicative competence and challenges involved in adopting it in English classes at the school. And lastly, I will propose some possible suggestions to improve student communicative competence via using role-play activities. So I have 4 research questions that are equivalent to the objectives that I have put forward. Next one is the hypothesis. Hypothesis number 1, both teachers and students of English at Lê Quý Đôn Gifted High School have a positive attitude towards the use of role-play in English classes. Hypothesis 2, there's a positive correlation between the use of role-play and the improvement of students' communicative competence at Lê Quý Đôn High School. And the last problem exists in the application of role-play in teaching English to students at Lê Quý Đôn Gifted High School. So, in order to conduct the research, I have the scope of 100 students and 5 English teachers. As for the significance of the study, because there are not many research that have been done on the use of role-play in improving students' communicative competence. So this research will be really necessary for the teachers in their language teaching. Hopefully, the findings of this research will make a humble contribution to enhancing students' interest in learning English towards conducting role-play activities and prompt them to become more fluent in specific real-life communication. So let's take a look at the literature review. So as for international research, there are some research that has been conducted by Smith in 1985, Ho in 1986, Ling and Du in 2009. Turning to domestic research, there have been some research conducted. So in spite of extensive literature on role-play, It seems that not enough attention has been given to the current situation of using role play in improving students' communicative competence at a local high school. Those are the reasons that have paved the way for this piece of research to be carried out. So now let's take a look at what is communicative language teaching. Actually, in the early 1970s, the communicative language teaching approach has been regarded as the most effective pedagogical model in foreign language teaching and learning. I already mentioned about communicative competence a lot, so defining it is really important. And there have been many theories put forward by researchers, a lot of researchers, so defining communicative language competence is a little bit confused because there are so many theories. So in order to have the convenience and consistency in this research, I will use the format of Canal 1983. So this is his model. So communicative competence consists of 4 kinds of competence. The first one is grammatical competence, which is the extent of mastery of morphology, syntax, semantics, and phonology. Next one is socio-linguistic competence, which is the appropriateness of communication depending on contextual factors. The next one is discourse competence, which is the cohesion and coherence of groups of utterance, and strategic competence, which is the set of strategies that are put into use when communication fails. So next, let's look at the definition of role play. There have been some definition put forward by Ladouce, Harmer, and Abraham. There have been diverse definitions of role play, yet they share the same idea that role play is a communicative technique in which students are supposed to act with new characters. Next, let's take a look at the types of role play. So in my research, I will divide them into scripted and unscripted role play. The next thing is the formats of role play. So first is teacher's preparation. Next is students' preparation. Next is the role play stage, and the last one is the evaluation. And so now I will talk about my research methodology. As for the setting, the research is conducted at Leeuwarden Gifted High School, and all the students there have access to the new English textbook, which has a communicative approach. As for the research design, in order to achieve the validity and reliability of the research, qualitative and quantitative research design was deployed, and also triangulation of data were employed in order to give a comprehensive look at how role play was implemented at the school. So as for the instruments, I will use questionnaires, interview, and observations. So let's come to the finding. Here is the frequency of role play implementation at the school. So as we can see that role play is occasionally implemented, not very frequently. As for the students' perception, this is the table of their idea. Overall, it is clearly that students really enjoy role play activity, and it helps them to improve their teamwork. And last but not least, it helps them to develop some skills such as critical thinking, creativity, and so on. Next is teachers' perceptions on the use of role play. So as teacher One pointed out, the ultimate aim of language teaching and learning is students' ability to communicate, and role play is one of the most effective methods to help students develop their communication skills. And through role plays, teachers can use it as a form of formative assessment. Next is the use of role play in improving students' communicative competence. So as we can see from the table, it can be easily seen that students can improve their grammatical competence thanks to role play. except for the spelling of the word, because role play is spoken language, not written one. So it's obvious that students cannot improve the spelling of the word, right? Also, socio-linguistic, discourse competence and strategic competence are all improved by role play through the perceptions of students. Also, from observation, it can be clearly seen that students have a valuable chance to improve their goal competence. And also the difficulties when doing role play. As we will see, students experience a lot of difficulties when doing role play. So after the findings, I have some points to discuss here. Role play is ideal for creating an interesting and motivating class atmosphere. And also role play technique helps students to improve their teamwork and create cooperative situations among students. Also, role play provides students with a chance to rehearse for real life situation, improve their shyness, acting skill, critical thinking, and creativity. Also, it could be used as a formative assessment, like Muhammad 2020 highlighted. Role play also helps students to improve communicative competence. However, there are still some problems. So, after all the results, the hypotheses have been approved, and I can conclude now that role play techniques are important in English language teaching because it helps it to improve students' communicative competence, which is the main focus of English teaching and learning in the context whereby communicative competence of students is pivotal in boosting student capability to communicate with confidence in the social and professional environments, as stated in the National Foreign Language Project. However, I conclude that there emerge some challenges that we should put into consideration. So, here are my suggestions that the teachers can do to improve the difficulties. As for the student, they should revise the previous lesson carefully and prepare for the new lesson so that they could be well equipped with the needed knowledge. Also, students should be eager to participate in English drama club inside and outside school. So the last part is the limitation of this research. Although it has been carefully designed and based on reliable data, there are some unavoidable limitations. So that's also the end of my scientific research report. Thank you very much for your attention.